In this video, I'm going to show you how we did this on a brand new Domain Authority 1 site. Stay tuned. I'm going to do this video in two parts. First, I'm going to walk you through the strategy here in the Blackboard. Then I'm actually going to dive onto my computer to show you the nuts and bolts and the inner workings of what we're going to talk about here. But I want to lay it out here first. But before I get into that, there's a couple of caveats I want to hit. Number one, this traffic from Google, it's not going to be your buyer keyword, right? The keywords that is driving the traffic to my site, it's not buy my product, it's informational searches. You've seen me use this content funnel before. This falls into the viral and discovery type traffic. Now, personally, I'm a huge fan of this. This is free advertising, right? This type of traffic is the first touch point with your brand. It gets people in, it gets people interacting. They see your stuff, and then you can hit them later with remarketing. You can follow you on social. There's a ton of things that you can do, right? This is the first touch point with the brand. That means this is also going to have a relatively high bounce rate, because what happens is people are looking for information. They're not looking to come and shop. They're going to come, they're going to read your article, and I'll show you how we can analyze that in Google, but they're not going to, it's going to have high bounce rate, right? So don't kill me in the comments here, you trolls, right? This is informational searches. And honestly, this is the only way to have explosive results in Google right now, because what happens for those highly competitive buyer keywords, you do the Google dance. You don't just rank first all of a sudden see a skyrocket. This is the only way to really skyrocket your traffic from organic right now. So that's what I'm going to show you in here. Now let's dive into the strategy a little bit. So again, first and foremost, 99% of the work here is done up front with research. There's no tricks, there's no gimmicks. This is going out and doing the research, understanding your industry, and targeting the right topics. So I don't really use keywords as much anymore. I do topical research, because that's the way that people search. They don't search for keywords per se. They're looking for topics. So what we want to do is try and dig into the intent of what people are searching for and use keywords to support that. And most importantly, topics are more important than keywords, because when you're working with a brand new site, you don't have the authority to compete on big, massive keywords. The only way to get exposure for these searches is by going after the keywords that aren't keywords yet. So for example, if we took these keywords and put them into Google Keyword Planner, it would show up as zero, as nothing, because they're so fresh, they're not registering. And this is why I don't like doing keywords anymore, because keywords are running on past data. The internet of today runs on now, and it runs on the future, and it runs on trends. So what we want to do is tap into the trends of your industry and market. And honestly, the only way to do that is to know what's going on in your market. So if you're doing this for clients, it's really, really important that you do discovery up front, you leverage their knowledge, you do the research, find social groups, find pages, look on Instagram, Snapchat, the younger networks where people are, talking about up and coming things. You really want to tap into those, because keyword research isn't going to do it for you. I'm also going to talk about building the right type of content, right? So the piece of content that I build, some people call it newsjacking, some people call it roundups. I took a combination of all of them, and I'm going to show you what I did and how I determined the right piece of content to build when we dive in. I'm also going to talk about citing and linking out. This is something that a lot of SEOs do because they think, Google likes to look at like a Wikipedia article. No, it's bullshit. What citing and linking out for on the web of today, a link denotes a citation. That means you got information from somewhere else and you're telling search engines that, hey, this isn't mine, I got it from here. That helps to rank, because what happens is you're building content, especially this that I'm going to show you. It's not an original thought. I didn't invent these sneakers. So I have to cite the original source, and I'm going to show you exactly how it does that in my thing, and then keeping it updated and keeping it fresh, because this is important, because again, we're talking about trends. Things are always changing. So you want to make sure that you're keeping it updated and making sure that the information on that page is still going to reflect the current searches and search for the future. I don't have it up here. I'm also going to talk a little bit about promoting the content to keep it to rank. So I'm going to dive into my computer now. I'm going to show you the exact article. I'm going to show you all of these things and exactly how I did it in incredible detail. So I'll see you guys in there. First and foremost, I just want you guys to see that I'm not full of crap. This is lacesout.net. This is the site. I'll show you the actual site in a second. You can see here organic traffic, 73%. You can see here, as of March 4th, it was getting 0 sessions. And now it's got up to 851, 750 the other day. Today is April 13th, 2016. Just wanted to verify that real quick. Now let's dive into the pages that are getting the traffic. So you can see it's mostly going to partially two pieces of content. I'm going to do a deep dive into each of these, no worry. I just want you to see this really quickly. And now I'm going to show you Search Console so you can see all of the different keywords that it's getting. So you know they're not bogus keywords. These are the actual branded sneaker term names. A lot of traffic, and again, you can see just a skyrocket in traffic going from literally nothing, brand new site in February, all the way up to here, and still going pretty well. You know, just so you can see all of these different keywords and all the, I mean, so you can see it's not one keyword, it's a ton of long tail, different keywords that I'm semantically crushing by the way that I created the piece of content. I'll just show you the piece of content here really quickly. This is the article. It's about this sneaker called the Adidas NMD R1, which I am going to dive into right now. First and foremost, we need to talk about a topic that we can build content around now. Traditional SEOs look at keywords using Keyword Planner or Longtail Pro, whatever that garbage is. I don't do that because that index is dated. It's relying on people searching and then coming up with the trends afterwards. We live in a social-driven world. I mean, let's be serious. Google is secondary to social media right now. There's no doubt about that. Google picks up on the back end of what's happening on social media. So instead of looking at dated keywords, we want to look at the source and we want to attack it and capture it and be the first entrance into that piece of content before other SEOs and content marketers start creating content around it. The best place to do that, honestly, is Instagram, and Snapchat's even better because Snapchat is right now in the moment. Instagram is still very hip. People are sharing, but Snapchat's right in the moment. I can't show you Snapchat. It's just something you got to pick up your own, but Instagram's a great place to start. So again, my website is about laces and sneakers. So what do? I follow the biggest accounts in the space. Nice Kicks, these are all very big brand. Kicks on Fire is another one. Foot Locker, all of these companies, Sneaker News. You can see here, so here's an example, right? So they have one about Nike Kobe Black Mamba Pack. So this is a type of sneaker right here. So what we can do is just take this and Google it, right? And this is how I do my research. I just see what's in Google and I see if I can beat it. So I'm looking at who is creating content around this. I see Nike, Soul Collector. These are all very big brands. And you can see here they've all got the exact match keyword. They all have a dedicated page on their site to this sneaker. So we don't want to go after that because we're never going to beat them, right? But if we start looking down here, and this is how I do all of my keyword research, just related search right here. And I start looking at what else are people searching for. So I'm looking at nickname origin, shoes for sale. I'm not going to go after that. This has buyer intent. I want to look for things that all have the same intent, that are all grouped into the same bucket. So the Kobe Bryant Black Mamba sneaker pack, that is kind of the keyword topic, but I want to look for a general kind of a pattern that I can build a bigger piece of content around. So shirt, movie logo, no, backpack. So these are all different products. You know, I'm not going to go through and do this for you here right now, but basically what I found, I'll just show you my piece of content that I built now that's driving all the traffic. Let me just pull up my blog. It's about a sneaker type. It's called the Adidas NMD. Now, again, I'm pretty in touch with sneaker culture. I follow all these sneakers on Instagram. I started seeing these sneakers come up on these sites. And when I was Googling it, what I noticed, so I would like, let's see, red. So I saw like the red sneaker come up. So what I started doing was I noticed that, hey, you know, the brand itself is not necessarily creating content around it. So that's a good sign, right? They don't have kind of like, you know, specific content around it. Then I started seeing these other sneaker sites. They were creating specific content on the sneaker, which is bad. I mean, this is a DA76 site. I'm not going to be able to rank necessarily for this name of the sneaker, even though I know this has a ton of volume. I mean, look at the amount of shares. This keyword, if you put this, so for example, if you put this keyword into Google Keyword Tool, Adidas NM1 or Originals NMD R1, sorry, Lush Red, that's going to show up as 0, no searches. But I know this industry and I know, so like, look at this, for example. Let me just pull this up. Sorry, guys, computer problems here. What happens when you do this live? So Adidas NMD Red, what was it? Lush Red. So you can see here, you can see what people are creating content around, and then you come down here and you see all these different keywords, right? Adidas NMD Lush Red, Adidas NMD R1 Lush Red, Adidas NMD R1 Red, Adidas NMD Red Black. So they're actually naming the different colors within the sneaker. This one's eBay, this one's on feet. This is another big one, right? So these 5 keywords here plus on feet, these are something that you can start to build content around. You can say, okay, so what's happening here is people don't necessarily know the name of the sneaker, but they're searching for different colors, pictures on the feet. So what this is telling me here is that people are looking for information about the colorway, images on the feet. So what I started to do is I started to look around again, and I'm just going to show you the post that I created here. Where is it? So what I started to do, again, I started on Instagram. I'm going to close this now, and I found some sneaker names. I saw people writing about it, and then I started looking at these, right? And I said, okay, well, who is writing about these? These are high authority sites, but what they're doing is look at how thin this content is, right? This is a great piece of content because it's short, it's got beautiful images, but there's only about 50 words on this page. From an SEO point of view, that's nothing. So what I started doing was I said, okay, you know, here's one colorway, Lush Red. How many other colors are there? And I started looking for information. I couldn't find it. And I know that people are looking for that information, even though Google does not explicitly say, hey, this is getting searched for 10,000 times a month. I'm looking at these different searches here that people are searching for. This is what Google's telling you people are searching for. And I started saying, okay, well, you know, maybe people are searching for orange ones or let me see, all white. And sure enough, there's all these different colorways of this very same sneaker. And it's the same thing down here, right? Triple white, prime knit, R1, restock, runner. So I'm starting to get a picture in my head of what people are searching for and how I can build a piece of content around it. So what I did was I said, okay, let me build the complete list of Adidas NMD releases and colorways, because what I couldn't find was one central source of information about every single colorway in here. And let me tell you, I had no idea how many there were. I thought there were gonna be like 3 or 5. There were over 20. Look at all these different variations of the sneaker. So what I did was I said, I gave to my virtual assistant, I said, hey, here's what I need you to do. I need you to do web research on every single sneaker type on Adidas NMD R1, and I need you to get me the exact name of the colorway. So this is what people are calling it. This is the official name of this sneaker. I need to get the release date, and I need to get you the where to buy. These are just affiliate links that I'm starting to make money with, just FYI. And then I built a piece of content around it. And what I did was I said, okay, look at, you know, if this content here was, I started looking at all of these sneaker sites, and I realized that there was really thin content on these pages. And I know from being an SEO, look at, there's only 50 words on this page. I know from being an SEO that content with a lot of words on the page ranks better. So what I did, again, I had my VA go out and find every single colorway in the release date. I made the title of the sneaker H2. I made the release date H3 and the price H3, because these are all semantic keywords, right? I know people are searching for the price of the sneaker. I know some people are searching for the release date of the sneaker. I know people are searching for the colorway of the sneaker. So what I did, I had my VA go out and find every single one, simply fill out an Excel spreadsheet, cost me $10. And then I had my content writer write 50 to 100 words on each sneaker. Very easy to do. I said, hey, you know, creative writer, go write me 50 to 100 words on every single one of these topics. And this is what they did. And then I went out and I found images of them, okay? And with the images, again, this is what I was talking about in the previous video. I don't own these images, and Google knows that, right? I am not an authority source on the Adidas NMD R1. I'm not an authority source on this sneaker. So what I had to do was cite these images, and this is where linking out comes in handy. And this is how you link out properly. This really pisses me off how poorly people do this, right? Don't link to Wikipedia, it has nothing. Link to the source. Links on the web are supposed to be for citation purposes. So anytime you use information that's not yours, you need a link to it. So that's all I did, was I was grabbing these images and linking out to where I found them from, okay? Very easy to do. So now what this article tells Google, and this is why I also added this chart up here that links down to each one of these. What it tells Google is, okay, look at every single one of these is on here, and they're linking to the authority site, the authority site about that sneaker. So ipso facto, this must be true. So what I'm telling you happens with this is that, look at a couple of things. Number one, I found the right topic, right? I did the right research. I realized what people were searching for, and I compiled them all into one. So call it partially newsjacking, and then call it partially roundup, whatever you want to call it. And then I just put more content on the page. I organized it better. I made it look good. I put images on there because I know people are searching for images as well. And then I linked out to the source of it. That's it. It's just a one big roundup post, and it's killing it. I mean, you see how much traffic it's doing. So then what I did next was I said, oh, well, you know what? This is just the men's. There's got to be women's version of this too. So what I did was just the same thing, and I built, let my site load, I built it for women as well. Same exact thing. This one's a little bit less because there's a lot less articles in here, but it's the same thing, right? I just went out and found images, I cited where they came from, and I did the same format. And sure enough, it worked as well. So I took this and I squeezed more life out of it and got an extra 2,000 visits to my site because of it. So a lot of interaction on this post. There's no rocket science here, guys. It's really just a matter of doing the research. Do not rely on traditional SEO metrics because we live in a world that's changing right now. Something is changing as we speak. Please do not go by traditional values and whatnot. It doesn't work anymore, right? We live in a socially driven world where trends are shifting instantly. Google is not always right. SEOs are not always fucking right. Stop doing keyword research like it's 1999, okay? Focus on topics. Focus on what people are talking about on social media. Because if they're talking about it on social media, what happens? If you see this image on your Instagram account and you see, oh, this is the NMD black, what are you going to do? You're going to go to Google and you're going to search for it, right? And if you've got a massive piece of content that can answer all of the questions about this sneaker, it doesn't matter the authority of your site because you've compiled all of this information from those authority sites and you built it into a better mousetrap. It works really, really well. And I'm telling you, it all depends on the research that you put in up front. So make sure that you put in the time. Now, I also said I would talk a little bit about promotion. To be honest with you, I didn't really build a lot of links to it. I did a couple of blog comments. I put it on Facebook and I boosted it to my fans. But that's about it. I mean, you can see it's got 49 comments. It's a very viral topic. So it kind of promoted itself, right? I went into some Facebook groups. I dumped it into some Facebook groups. It doesn't. So actually, let me remove the organic filter here so you guys can see the traffic that it's doing from where it's coming from as well. So let me do this. Let me change the report. Let's go to site content, landing pages. Let's do this. Let's filter by this and let's add source. So you can see. So Google's driving the most. Reddit, I put it on Reddit, did well. Facebook, you can see it did about 600, 700 visits. Nike Talk is a forum. It did really well there. And then Google Images is doing well too. So that's about it. You know, I didn't really do too much link building to it. I'm doing a little bit of outreach for it now just because I want to solidify this spot. But again, guys, that's it. It's a lot of work, but this is how you win in a space that's crowded with authority brands and you don't have it. You can still win. You just got to put in the time and the effort to do the research. So if you have any questions, please ask. I'm going to post this video on my YouTube, on Facebook, and on my blog as well. Please, please, please comment. Please interact. Please engage. Tell me I'm full of shit if you want to, but get active. I will answer any and every question that I can. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.